going, everyone? Liam Catterson here. This is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We're on episode number 7 of season 3, which is called Revelations, which is not looking good for a couple of people this season, because there's quite a few matters that need to be hush-hush this season, like Angel and Buffy and Xander and Willow, so they're at a bit of a risk, judging by the title of this episode. But yeah, this season has been absolutely dominating. It's been pretty fun stuff. Last episode, like I said, I think it's my favourite episode thus far, with just how crazy it was and how we brought up a few... we brought Ethan back, and we had Mr. Trick and the Mayor, more focus on that as well. So yeah, it was quite a hectic episode last time out, and I just loved it so freaking much. So yeah, with that said, let's just delve right into this episode. This is episode number 7 of season 3 for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let's go.
I think it's great when two people like two people and want to be close to them instead of anyone else.
Yeah!
Yeah, well put. Hey, can I snag a sip?
Hey, you got it.
Oh god, Jesus Christ.
Thank you. Thank you. We're here.
Take entirely too much time. Which one of you is Faith?
Depends. Who the hell are you?
Gwendolyn Post. Mrs. Your new watcher.
Oh, no. She's better off here, okay? We don't need a new watcher for Faith. She's better here.
Maps of Malta.
Oh, boy.
It's on order.
They're
I
fake
suppose
books.
that you have Sir Robert Kane's Twilight Compendium.
Oh, yes, yes I do.
Of course you do.
Of course.
I
What's
have
this
been
supposed
sent
to
by the
mean?
council for a very
Come on.
important reason.
Come on. Ah!
Big night for us.
Don't do that. Do not do that.
People to see.
Hey, you're not the watcher of me.
Then go home, but if you choose to stay, then work.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Look, Mary Poppins has put him under a lot of stress.
And no means no, so, stop.
Willow, Xander, you can stop your studying. I've got what I need.
I don't know if
I got Miss Press on my back now. I don't need another babysitter. I'll holler if I'm having any fun. Okay. Later.
Thanks.
I do love how these two are bonding. Woo! Yeah, this guy's not playing nice whatsoever. Jesus. Oh no! Oh! You're just seeing things, Xander. Old habits. Okay, things have now gotten juicier.
Once you put it on, the glove can never be removed.
Oi.
So, no touching.
It's Infinity Gauntlet, isn't it?
Like us. You hold on to it. I'll tell Giles in the morning.
Based, I believe, on very sketchy and unreliable folk legends. The pictures are fun to look at, Mr. Giles, but one really ought to read the nice words as well.
Are you sure that's the kettle, or is that
Some tea, perhaps.
Giles just about to lose it with this
I know
with
that
this
you must
scowl?
find me tiresome, but it's insidious. Would you like some assistance?
Thank you. It won't be necessary.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is not something you can handle, Mrs. Post.
Lagos is out of luck. I got the magic mitten thingy.
Oh boy.
What's with all the tragedy masks?
Angelvention.
Was wrong, okay? I know that, and I know that it can't happen again. But you guys have to believe me, I would never put you in any danger. If I thought for a second that
Except
Angel
you
was
did
going to
in a
hurt anyone...
sense.
You would stop him. Like you did last time with Miss Calendar.
Nobility. I mean, this has nothing to do with jealousy.
Hello? Miss not over yourself yet?
Don't you start with me.
Oh,
Charles,
boy.
no one's doing the I statements.
That's enough. Everybody. Now, Buffy knows our concerns, and her actions, however ill-advised, can be understood.
It can, but you can
Priority
understand
right now is to retrieve
why
the glove
they're
again and try to destroy it.
not happy with what Buffy's doing as well.
Classes. Finally, I must remind you that Angel tortured me for hours, for pleasure. He should have told me he was alive. You didn't. You
Betrayed.
have no respect for me or the job I perform.
Holy shit!
And her friends.
Oh, right. I guess that doesn't include me.
And why does he let her socialize so much? It hardly seems... No matter.
Because she's a human being.
Would you like to do some training?
He's not stripping away that.
Training? As in kicking, punching, stabbing?
Yes, that's the idea.
I'm your girl.
I don't like her. Miss Post, I'm meaning.
Involves transforming fire into living flame and immolating the glove.
Oh.
It's complex,
See?
but
Giles ain't that
I
bad.
believe I have all the necessary materials.
Well, I must say, Mr. Giles, good show.
Oh, shit!
Show indeed.
You are a bitch.
They were talking.
Whack! Ooh!
Yes.
Don't go losing your head.
Sorry about that. So, what were you saying?
Oh, I opened my SAT test booklet 5 minutes early. Just doesn't seem important now, does it?
Your cigarettes away.
Use living flame.
Move!
He didn't run about Mrs. Post.
What happened?
Guess he was limited on
Your
time.
boyfriend's not as cured as you thought.
What makes you think that Angel had anything to do with it?
You
Exactly.
saw what you saw.
So you just assume?
I didn't.
You did.
Okay. That hurt.
It was supposed to kill you. If you'd been human, it would have. But I believe this is your poison.
Go on, Angel. Let's sort her out. I see. This is why I didn't like her. She was shady as shit. Oh no! Oh no! This is
I can't
the
believe how much I'm
worst.
gonna kill you.
You're not getting that glove.
You wanna...
Oh boy! Here we go. This is so fun. Oh boy. There we go. You are a bitch totally now for harming our Willow. Ow. Snap your fingers.
You're an idiot.
You're a bitch. Oh no. He saved Willow! Oh!
Can you draw her
See,
hair?
he's good! He's
No, I
good!
can't. Go do it.
Holy damn, what is this glove? I need it.
Do to me now.
Damn. Holy shit. Well, that was electrifying.
Was kicked out by the council a couple of years ago for misuses of dark power.
Oh.
I swear there was a memo.
Well, I better go. A little more damage.
See, they couldn't just inform Giles this, could they? Now he's got a bloody concussion.
The whole angel thing is so weird.
Yes, well, we'll have to see how that unfolds, won't we?
I didn't have a choice. I'm on your side.
I'm on my side.
It's not like she did this out of malice.
Not always.
Is that it?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, well then, I'll see you.
Oh. I was loving this Faith and Buffy dynamic. There was a lot of great moments in that episode, from the Angel Vention to Mrs. Post to Faith as well, especially. I really enjoyed going into this episode and seeing things just being blown out there. In terms of the angel revelation, which we'll get onto in a minute, because there's a big discussion to go on with that. But it was pretty good to have Mrs. Post turn out to be the one to keep an eye out for. I mean, we still had to keep an eye out for Lagos, and Buffy dealt with him quickly. But I thought when Giles got knocked unconscious again, that Mrs. Post was actually just a fake identity, and that was truly Lagos. But no, Lagos got dealt with, and after the whole, and yeah, it was still pretty fun to see that we had an actual watcher, but she was more corrupt, and that's why she got kicked off the council. My main question is, though, like, why didn't Giles not contact the council anyways? Not just to give them a lecture about what Mrs. Post said to them. Said to him, which was, you're becoming too American. I'm not sure if that's true, given the fact that obviously she wasn't sent by the Watchers, since she was kicked off. But not just that, but of course the main important reason, like, just to verify that Mrs. Post was here, and then they could have said, well, that's weird, because we kicked Mrs. Post off the Watcher Council a few years ago because she was too corrupt, and then that could have resolved the issue very, very quickly. But yeah, it still made out for a very, very interesting story, and how Mrs. Post's involvement did break Faith's character, like, so much, because not only did she tell Faith that they were having a secret meeting and they excluded you, so she's going to feel like she was unwanted, but her actions itself, Mrs. Post's actions, broke Faith even further, I feel, because I really liked how we saw a bit more humanity from Faith in this episode. Like, not just her and Buffy just interacting. I really, really did like their, like, them two just hitting things off at the very beginning, especially, like, when they were fighting vampires, and Giles is just like, oh, well, I could just basically, like, if the sun was out, well, vampires would be done and dealt with, but, like, I could just chill here and these two can take care of things. But no, I really love how they did interact with each other. But that was all broken with Mrs. Post's word, and then her actions didn't help matters, because that made Faith believe that she can't trust anyone, because those she does feel a trusting connection to, that gets snapped away. So you do feel so much for Faith in this episode, and I do hope that something can somehow help her in a sense, because she's just completely lost at this point. So yeah, I just want to give her a hug at this point. But yeah, it was still a pretty it was solid stuff. I really did like that development on Faith in this episode, because I think the last couple of episodes she's been scarcely involved, and we haven't had too much on her, so it was great to have that little bit, even though if she wasn't at the forefront of the story. her character, like there was a big development on her character in this episode, I feel, so that was very, very great stuff to trip upon Faith. And I did like the fight between Buffy and Faith. I thought it was really, really juicy stuff. As well as Mrs. Post's death as well, and how she wielded the gauntlet like she was Thanos. So yeah, it was a pretty awesome sequence. The main event of this episode. So yeah. Although I don't know, I say like the main event. That was the main event, but the highlight for this episode for me was the whole Angel Vengeance scene, which we could talk about. So, again, this episode does showcase that grey area, I feel. Like, you can't fault both sides. Like, I do understand why Buffy kept Angel's return a secret. Like, she was scared out of her wits, and Angel, like, she had so much guilt killing Angel back at Becoming. It ate her up inside, and this darkness consumed her mind, like this agony. She was just completely overwhelmed with it. So for him to return, to give her a bit of light, it's something you don't want to let go of, that light. And even if he is still, I guess, rebooting, it's something that Buffy can, like, that action of killing Angel can, I wouldn't say totally be rescinded, like, that guilt, but him returning does put us, like, it would put a smile on Buffy's face, but she's still a bit cautious, as we've seen. Like even when them two were kissing in this episode, she was like, this is still wrong, but those urges, they cannot resist the pull for Angel. So yeah, but yeah, she was feeling nervous on when the right time would be. And I think I don't know though, because I was gonna say I think she's knowledgeable to warn them. Like, if this was Angelus, like, Angelus is back, not Angel. Like, I think she would be knowledgeable to warn the Scoobies if Angelus did return. But at the same time, I feel like logic does take the bench when it comes to Angel. Like, she's, like I said, she's got such a pull. That's why she was like, she wasn't pulling away from, like, whoever initiated on the kiss when Xander found out. She wasn't exactly pulling away until logic slowly but surely did come in sync with the mind. So yeah. But yeah, I cannot blame Buffy, but at the same time, you also cannot blame the Scoobies for being so upset with Buffy. And I gotta say, Giles' speech, we'll get to that in a minute, but I thought the intervention scene all the way from that moment when they were all sitting around the table to Giles and Buffy having that private talk, it was super intense. And I did love the way it played out. Like, both sides did raise great points. And, like, you can see why Buffy kept Angel a secret, but there's, like, bits like Xander who's saying, you'll stop him like you did the last time with Miss Calendar, which is kind of like a harsh truth. And I'm very, very critical when it comes to Xander at times, because sometimes he does say things, and Buffy even raised a great point, like, you're so jealous for him, which is true in a sense. But I feel like him calling out Buffy and Angel this episode fares better than it did in Becoming. Because I thought that was completely dickish from Xander in Becoming. I think it was Becoming, yeah, when they were talking about bringing Angel back via the spell for what Jenny saved on the floppy disk, and Xander was completely against it, and Giles was saying, well, this was Jenny's wish, and then Xander said, well, Jenny's dead. And I thought that was completely cold, but I thought he did raise some very interesting points. Even Cordelia, like she was saying, like, I'm worried about me, because last time, Angelus wasn't all about hurting, he was all about hurting you by killing all of us. So yeah, Cordy did raise a good point as well. The main problem is, although this can be counteracted, which I'll get onto, is that there's such a disparity between Angel and Angelus. Like, they're two different beings. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the 11th Doctor and the 12th Doctor. They are two different entities. And even if they do inhabit one person, they are not the same. So, yeah, they are very distinct. The problem with that, like, statement, though, I guess, is that Angelus could rise at any point. Like, what happened in season 2, not just like was unforeseen. Like, they didn't know, like, Angel and Buffy making love would trigger this. But I'm just thinking, like, what he did in season 2 could be child's play compared to what he could do if he did turn into Angelus next. Like, more people close to Buffy could actually die than Jenny did. It wasn't just that, though, but Giles went through torture, which goes to his speech about how disappointed he is in Buffy. Willow, even though that wasn't Angelus directly, it was through Angelus's wishes in terms of getting Giles. Willow was in a coma for as well. Xander had his arm broken. So there was a lot of trauma that the Scoobies did suffer through Angelus, and you could understand why they're a bit shaky with Angel returning and Buffy just reuniting with Angel. And not just that, though, but like, apart from him coming out of that place to retrieve the glove, the first sight that Xander saw of Angel was him kissing Buffy. So yeah, so there's a lot of variables to account for when it comes to Angelus. Like, Angelus could like, for Angel, should I say, Angelus could rise again. That's the thing, though. Like, you just never know. And after the trauma that the Scoobies suffered, they are feeling this fear. So you can't exactly blame them for feeling this fear, because they all actually. I think Cordy was the only one to not suffer any physical abuse or whatnot, but yeah, they all had their own degree of the wrath of Angelus. Whether it was directly from him himself or through a third party. So, yeah, but yeah, at the end of the day, I do see both points. So, and I really, really like that with the show. They have this grey area when it comes to topics like this. So, yeah. And I did, like I said, I loved Giles' speech about, you have no respect for me or the job I perform. That was such a stake to the heart, and I'm always a sucker for Giles and Buffy scenes, for better or for worse, and this was another one up there. Like, it was just really heartbreaking, and I like how respectful he is. Like, he didn't have this talk in front of everyone. He was very understanding, but he had to let out his own grievances with Buffy at that private scene. So yeah, I really felt so heartbroken for Giles at this point, because he was like, I have to remind you, I was tortured through Angelus. So yeah, I really, really loved how Angel Vention went down. So yeah, that was a really, really good moment, and I think the highlight of this episode probably just the way it was portrayed and how it was in that grey area, and like I said, Giles' speech. It was such a really intense scene that you did not want to confront, but it at the same time you did, and it just played out really, really well, I feel. So yeah, that was really, really good. again, Willow and Xander. Oy. Yeah, I'm wondering when the cat's going to be out the bag for that one. Considering this episode came close a few times with Xander and Willow just kissing in the library, and Giles. That was so lucky because Giles was like staring into his book and didn't pay any attention to them two kissing when it could have been a lot worse. So yeah, obviously not as bad as like how he would feel with Buffy keeping Angel a secret, but he would be probably a bit startled if anything. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see when that comes out because that's surely got to come out. You can't keep secrets like that. And expect no one to find out. And Willow was even close to telling Buffy until Lagos showed up. And yeah, I do love the like moral support she had for Buffy. Like she was encouraging her. So yeah, Willow can be adorable, but this season she's really not playing well because like I think Xander is learning to try and pull away from Willow. Like he does have that, like, I don't know, there's been a few points during this affair that Xander has tried to pull away, and then Willow was the one that was grabbing his face and sucking it off, basically. So no, I feel like that is the case. Like Xander is learning that this is wrong, but there is such a charm, there is such a pull now with this Willow Xander relationship that yeah, I'm really curious to see when that's gonna get when that's gonna become out in the open. But yeah, it was a pretty intense episode, and like I said, I feel so bad for Faith. Like she feels so isolated, like she's putting herself in isolation because she can't trust anyone at this point, thanks to Mrs. Post on both accounts. Like she told Faith about the group, and of course she directly betrayed her by yeah, so it's just really heartbreaking to see Faith in this loneliness, because that's the thing, she feels alone. So yeah, but this was a solid episode for Buffy. I'm really enjoying season 3 thus far, and I can't wait to see what happens next time. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check the videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!